are back on the Open Task podcast. The Open Task podcast is back. I be your brother Calvin Miles Smith III, MD, with my mainest man, Joseph Carlos. Joe, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. You know,
hey,
what is Ivan say? Hey, man, so what's up? What's up with you though?
Hey man, what a flex, what's up, Marlo? What a flex! Like, you know, yes. Like he's not letting prison stop him.
Yeah. So what's up with you though, man? You know. Sorry, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, though, don't be sorry, man. Don't be sorry.
Had my first shot.
Left
arm's a little sore, but we chilling. Both my parents are vaccinated, so I'm very, very, and both my in-laws.
God bless.
Very, very excited. Yeah, yes, God bless. Very excited and happy about that. And so we are chilling. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Can't wait. Like Stevie Brown.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Hey, look. So our fans, our devoted Open Task fans, we appreciate you.
God bless you. Love you. God bless you all. Love you guys.
We got a twofer for you tonight. This is our planned episode. Our unplanned episode is in the can, as they say in the industry. It's in the can. It's in the can. Both of them coming out tonight at some point. Joe, you know, sometimes we got to do one for us. And I look like this. Yeah. I look at this one like this is one for us, man. This is a cinephiles film. This film is a film that, you know, you really have to have a film appreciation for. Like, I would, if you watch tonight's film, Chinatown. You watched tonight's film, Chinatown.
And we hope you did.
We hope you did. Yes. If you watch this and you're not a film buff, you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's a great film either way.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
But if you love films like we love films, this movie takes on a whole nother level. Like it's.
You should have already been seen it. You should have been seen it.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. 1974.
Great year.
1974. My man Christopher Wallace, man. Shout out to
great year.
Great Biggie. 1974. Respect.
What is your favorite Biggie song?
Unbelievable.
Okay. All right.
No hesitation.
That's all I needed. Keep it.
No hesitation.
Cool.
Unbelievable.
No hesitation. I'm warning.
Warning is
number two for me is the what?
You know,
which is just a series of non sequiturs that just are housed in a song.
I had a conversation earlier with the homies in the co-op about we were talking about what the songs that were our initial impression songs on Ready to Die, and the what definitely was, because I was deep in my Wu-Tang stuff back then. So you talking about, you got Method Man? Come on, man.
M-E-A-D-O-B, man.
I got more.
They were playing with the dials. They're playing with the dials. You know, the sound comes in and out. You know.
Yeah.
The RZA's back there.
Yeah.
Someone's back there.
Razor Sharp.
Razor Sharp.
On the lyrics, the beats.
He's a genius.
If we want like Voltron, he's the head.
He's the head.
Can I say this one? Can I say this one? Domination. We only do this for certain people. This is for certain people.
Because no one in the world is talking Chinatown
and Wu-Tang
and Wu-Tang at the same time.
Biggie.
And Biggie. Oh yeah. And Biggie all in one. But yeah, man, we're talking Chinatown, man. It's Cinephiles film.
Yeah.
Up for Best Picture. AFI list. Okay, I had it here. AFI ranked 19th. Okay, 19th.
Yeah.
In the 1998 AFI 100 Years, 100 Movies.
Yeah.
16th in the AFI's 100 Years, 100 Thrills.
Yeah.
Top 100 Villains is in this film.
Yeah.
Top 100 Quotes is in this film.
Yeah.
Top 10 Mystery Film, ranked second. In the 100th, in 2007, 10th anniversary edition of the top 100 films is ranked 21st. So, you know, a couple things bumped it, but it's one of the best films ever made.
Yeah.
And
Holds up. Stands the test of time.
without question.
Without question. Amazing.
And currently streaming, because you all have Prime. If you listen to us, you upperly mobile people, you all have you all have Prime Video.
Yeah.
You all have Prime Video, so
or somebody's password or something. You know what I mean? So
one of the two.
Yeah. So you can watch this film very easily streaming. 74. The only reason, as you alluded to, it was nominated, did not win. Only reason it didn't win is because it went up against the 1A or 1B, depending on how you feel. Movie of all time.
1A.
Yeah, I'm 1A too. I'm with you.
It was up against The Godfather. It was a good night for Paramount. It was a good night for Paramount.
Yeah,
it was a good night for Bobby Evans. And Paramount. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, as you alluded to, Robert Evans, producer, script by Robert Towne. So
who did win. And you're getting the good stuff. Yeah, throwing that hot fire from the mound.
Yeah.
All.
So we are not afraid of tackling people who have been canceled. We've talked about William H. Cosby. Probably the original person to be canceled is the director of this film.
Yeah, he is.
He's I mean, cancel culture before cancel culture.
He is,
and rightly so.
And rightfully so. Yes, without question.
Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski.
We directed another one of my favorite films, The Pianist, as well.
Yeah.
Definitely directed that.
Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby, of course.
I'm a fan of.
I love them all. Yeah.
La 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 la.
Oh my gosh.
Haunting.
Oh my god. Very haunting. Frightening.
Bought that at the Tower Records.
I bet you did.
Very much so.
I bet you did. Chinatown, man. Jack Nicholson.
Chinatown, baby.
John Huston.
John Huston, Mr. Gibbs.
Bilbo
Baggins, Mr. Gibbs. Been waiting to do that all day. Like I've been waiting to say that on the mic all day. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's incredible. The great Faye Dunaway. Burt Young.
Hey, God bless him. Thank gosh. Yeah. Oh, so happy to see Young in this. It was like a calming figure. Like, hey, it's Burt Young.
It's old familiar.
It's my guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What a great movie, man. So Chinatown, 1974.
Mr. Bacala, by the way.
What's that?
Isn't it Mr. Bacala?
Oh yeah. He is Bobby Sean. Yeah, Bobby Sean. Yeah. Another toothpick. Right. Thank you. Yes. Very good.
Easter eggs. Just
all over the place. All over the place. 74. I wasn't born yet. You weren't born.
I was.
You were here?
I was born in 74, but September 74.
September 74. 74. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So the film was released. What is the date?
June 30th or June 20th.
Oh yeah. My parents have told me on many occasions that they went to go see this. At least, and my dad probably twice in the theater.
So you saw it in utero.
Yeah.
In utero.
Sure. When was the first time you saw it?
First time I saw it was in adulthood. Actually, it was probably 2004 or 5, right around there.
Yeah. First time I saw it, I think I saw it on TV with my dad once, but not all of it. So the first time I saw it was probably, I think it was one of the first DVDs I bought. I bought a DVD player summer 01 Apex from Best Buy in South Lake.
And on the screen, Apex.
Yeah. Trying to get that corner, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure I bought it like fall 01 and I watched it there in the room by myself, and then later I know I watched it with Chris Elders, Rhodes Scholar from Morehouse, class of 02.
Yes.
And we discussed it at great length while drinking J&B on the rocks from the calf.
Very good.
Yes.
With the calf cups.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. What else would we ever do that?
Yes. So I have a crystallization. I vividly recall now how and why I watched it, because it was one of the very first movies that I ordered in the mail on the old way that Netflix used to do their movies.
Yeah, nice.
So
yeah.
when did they start doing that? When was that?
The sleeve. You can still do the sleeves. You can still get them to your house, I think.
You still get the sleeves?
Really? I think so. I think so. I don't know.
I had a 3 sleeve a month subscription.
Let's talk about that. No, 3 sleeve at a time.
Yeah, at a time. Yeah. At
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Man, I was catching up on I had a list. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get through the film canon. And I knew you would appreciate it, Joe. This is on it. There was what else did I see in that first little batch? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Nice.
I went through a Jack phase, so I wanted to see, like, I think 5 Easy Pieces might have been in that list.
Oh, look at you, ever the thinker. Look at you.
I tried, man. Bonnie and Clyde.
Got to do that.
Sundance Kid, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Like, you know, I was getting my Netflix on, man.
Yeah, get my bail on.
But I kept this. Sorry, I kept this movie longer than I kept any other movie. I just kept coming back to it, man. It just was so fulfilling. Such a great, like, the first time I watched it, I was blown away. Second time I watched it for detail. Third time I watched it just so that I could immerse myself fully in it, having some understanding. You know what I mean? And it gets better and better. I watched it. I turned it on this past Saturday. Watched it 3 times. 3 times Saturday. It's okay. It's not a short movie. This is not a short film.
It's not, but you got to be plugged in.
131 minutes. That's 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Yeah, I know that specifically. So thank you.
all 2 hours and 11. You know, sometimes you gotta do the math. You gotta do the math, man. Sometimes you get immersed in a film, and like that droning trumpet comes in and that, or is it a cornet? It might be a cornet.
It might be, but in my mind, it's a trumpet. And if you think about it, Paramount must have just had trumpeters on salary, because you could just, there's a lone shrill trumpet, you know, in The Godfathers.
Yes. Yeah.
Stop. Just stop.
Yeah, full stop.
And then, you know.
Yeah.
And then you see some action. You're like, what? What was that? You know, the trumpet was the music of the time. I if I may.
You may.
It was set in 1937.
Uh-huh.
I had to remind myself on this most recent viewing, it was 37. It's like pre-war. So World War II was kind of like about to kind of kick off soon.
We're in the appeasement phase right now.
But we're not talking about the world at all. We're literally talking about LA. And LA to us, LA to us is like everything else.
Yeah.
And this is yet another film in Calvin's obsession with Los Angeles. And
I'll be in LA in April, man. I can't wait.
Calvin will be in LA in April, playing at the Ha Ha Hole on Pico. That was a shout out to Swingers for those listening.
Yes.
You're
so many, you don't even know it, man.
We went to network on a pilot. Okay, God bless. So, but it's another LA story in that. Shout out to Steve Martin. That film turned 30 this year as well. LA story. It's a shout out to LA and another Los Angeles story, wherein they're talking about the specific time period. And I think if you're not like plugged in, you'd be like, man, what in the world are they talking about? What are they talking about, right? But you gotta plug in, and you gotta pay attention. And the drought would definitely make sense in 37.
Yeah.
During a depression.
Yeah.
So, you know, this ain't the Dust Bowl. It's still Los Angeles. They're still making movies. There's still industry and all kind of things that are happening.
Yeah.
But I think it's there's a certain cleanliness, and LA is still very much a small town.
Yeah. It's 90s Vegas. LA.
See, look at it.
LA is a small desert stopover town at that point in time. You know what I mean? Like, and they're smacked, as they say in the movie, smacked between an ocean and a desert.
This is before Mickey Cohen.
Before Mickey.
Before Bugsy.
Do it all legal.
Yeah, Jack Dragna was running the city at the time. This is a very different. It's a very different, and so this story doesn't even touch on any of that. This is just good old fashioned government corruption.
Yeah, and it's historically accurate to an extent. You know, the whole L.A. water wars.
Yeah,
Mulholland Drive. You know, Mobile Hill, Mulholland. They make it very plain for you. You know what I mean? Mulray. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Mobile Hill was his guy. The goon.
Yeah.
But Mulray. Nonetheless, make it very plain for you what they're talking about here, and just to take that historical backdrop and tell this story, which is clearly a fiction.
Thank gosh, yes. Yes.
But to tell this story about this drama with an amazing familial plot twist, filmmaking at its best, man. And I just, we often talk about well, I'll get to that. Let's talk about the little things in this film, Joe, because there are a lot of little things. Little things. What little things stood out to you in this movie?
You know me, man. I don't need no introduction. I love clothes.
Okay.
I'm all about fashion.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the most stylish films I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that this great country was in a depression at the time, we were styling.
Yeah.
We were styling. And do you ever look at Jack?
Cleaner than the Board of Health.
Look at this. A white, Jay Gatsby couldn't pull that off.
No.
The white double-breasted suit, beautiful tie, pocket square.
Yeah.
He's got the pocket square too. It's this movie is stylish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite the fact it's not about style, despite the fact it's no frills, it's not glitzy. The little thing to me is the style. And the style is like these people take themselves very seriously.
Yeah.
And so that's a little thing to me. So to me, it means you should take it seriously as a viewer.
Yeah.
The other little thing to me is the quirky stuff between Jake and his associates. The guys that work there at JJ Gittes.
Yeah.
To get his PIs. I love the back and forth. I love the little banter,
the little jokes.
The little jokes. And also another little thing to me is like they really captured, I just said it a second ago, but it was a small, sleepy, LA was like a small town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And things closed at night. And you just, you did what you did. It was 1937. And I'm never not feeling as it's 1937 ever in the film.
No.
So, okay. So that's little things for me. Go ahead.
So for me, Jake, speaking about Jake as a detective, like the detective work he does in this film, it's just
awesome.
You don't see this so very often in detective films. They just kind of imply that this guy's a good detective, a bad detective, whatever kind of detective. You see him doing the dirty work here. You see him like breaking a headlight on the car so he can follow the car. You see him, just the work he does in surveilling on rooftops and even when he makes a mistake with the shingle, like it's so realistic. So realistic, man. His detective work and the little things he does, like as a detective, to get to the bottom of this case, and he makes some bad assumptions here and there, but he's going on instinct, and that's the thing about detective work that people like. You gotta take it for granted in films that people don't get the difference between what a cop does and what a detective, like a private detective, does. You know what I mean? Like a private detective is much more instinctual, much more like they can play it fast and loose because they aren't working within the confines of the law. You know what I mean? And this movie really nails that. Like he's like right there on the fringes, like, putting it together, putting narratives together, thinking that he knows something, going on hunches, and by and large gets it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. It figures it out, and he has the analytics, the analytical mind to figure and put these loose ends together to create a narrative.
And then it all circles back, and then you realize why he's not a cop at the very end when it comes all the way back to Chinatown. And he just it just I like the way that paid off. Like that, you don't know exactly what went down in Chinatown with him before, other than it's never what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And then circles back to Chinatown, and then another situation is not what he thought it was.
Right.
It ends up being his undoing. It's just wonderful, 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 wonderful. And for me, that the way that it pays off, the payoff, and with it paying off with him in his work as a detective, I just really I found that to be fascinating. And you don't get filmmaking like this anymore. So that was
no, you don't.
That was it for me. I just, man, I get more and more about the detective work every time I watch it. And I'm not a big detective guy. Like, I'm not sitting down watching Mike Hammer, watching,
Mickey Spillane,
the SVU. I'm not watching a lot of those procedural cop shows and things like that. But I know enough about it. And I know, like, when it's masterfully done, like this and Devil in a Blue Dress, this
mm-hmm.
This is it.
It's interesting that you say that. What I do recall about the first time I watched any part of this film was the private eye stuff, because it happened like in pretty much except for the knocking the light out, but the other PI stuff when he was tailing Mulray.
Yeah.
It happened within a very short time period. And think about how, like, Mulray's being followed. He doesn't even know it. Yeah. This guy's been following him everywhere for days, and he has no clue. And he's pretty close. Yeah. And he's if you think, it shows you how small the town is, right? They're on that little thing down by the beach, mm-hmm. and he's parked like a couple cars away, all night. But I remember the scene I remember is when he opens the glove box and he's got all the stopwatches there. Yeah. And he puts the stopwatch underneath the tire to see what time he left. And my dad being like, "Yeah, man." I said, "So what does that mean, Dad?" He said, "When he leaves, it'll break the weight of the car will break the watch, so you know exactly what time he left." Exactly. I said, "Well, what time? Why is that important?" He said, "Well, because that way that establishes how long he was at the place." So I said, "Well, what if someone else picked him up?" I said, "Well, that'll okay then." Right, but I was a little older, but about 8 or 9. But the point being that there were when you brought up detective work, I love it, because when he's in Echo Park on the lake, and a very famous, fortunately, and it's something my brother would talk about LA movies, and because you love Los Angeles so much, so LA movies. Thank God the city has done such a marvelous job at keeping certain things pristine, so that you can shoot those period pieces. I mean, because it's their business. That is their business. This is their business. So you can go to downtown LA right now and still shoot something that looks like it did, when it did. Yeah. Very similar. Listen, there's a street in Atlanta, and I got to get the name of the street. There's a street in Atlanta right now that is like Hollywood, Main Street, USA. For Main Street, USA, Hollywood in Atlanta. They've shot probably 50 to 100 films or TV shows on that street in the last 2 years. Yeah. Okay. And it dead ends into MLK, the MLK, the Martin Luther King Federal Building. Okay. And so if you watch Lovecraft Country, and I can't remember if you did.
Yeah, I did.
The scene where the young lady is where she gets cursed, and she's in the archway. She's in like the archway, and I drive by that all the time. Okay. I drive by that archway all the time. And it was just in Coming to America. The same street, the same archway, the same street, same arch. It was just in Coming to America. I mean, it might as well be Griffith Park Observatory. In fact, that's one of the few LA landmarks that was not in this film. Yeah, actually. Yeah. But this is a very authentic film, very beautiful, and I love how it told another Los Angeles story.
Yeah, I agree. Who's the unsung hero of the movie for you, man?
I don't think there is one. You know what? I'm gonna go. I can't go with Burt Young. I want to, but I can't go with Curly because.
Go with Curly. Talk about. Curly.
Well, I can't because of how Curly reacted. I can't. Curly is the first client. Finds out his wife's cheating, and then when we see the wife, she has a black eye. Now, obviously, that didn't age. That didn't age well.
I mean, there was some slapping and such in this movie too.
Oh, it's all kind of slapping in this movie. Yeah. My sister, my daughter, my sister.
Yeah,
she's my sister and my daughter. I think. I don't know if I don't have an unsung hero for this film, other than the clothes and the look.
Okay,
and really quietly, it's the directing.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right, because I did want to talk about that. The direction. I mean, and again, you talk about a masterclass in film. If you want to really understand film and become a cinephile, you have to watch this movie and just pick up how the director, like pacing, story, the way that the director owns this film and the framing of the shots. You know, everything is just perfect. This is a perfectly directed film. If you struggle to understand direction and how it weighs into the way a film is done, this movie is it. This is the movie you need to watch. Polanski's finest work.
Without question.
I this is where I want to talk about Noah Cross.
Go ahead, please jump in there.
This is where I want to talk about John Huston as Noah Cross. Noah Cross is one of the three most evil characters in movies. Yes. And I'm not.
They had him at number 2 on that AFI list. He's at number 2.
He's an awful human being.
Yes, a dastardly, just horrid,
abhorrent man. All of these things, completely fascinating. Like this guy, I mean, like
completely.
You watch him, you know, the lunch scene he has with Jake eating the fish with the head on. You know, the quote in this quote is so relevant. You know, they kind of twist it up a little bit in The Dark Knight when they say, you know, you either die a hero or you live long enough to be a villain. He says, "Of course I'm respectable. I'm old. Politicians, ugly buildings, and whores all get respectable if they last long enough."
Man, look, Bobtown. The writing.
Come on, man.
Come on. Who's writing that?
Can you think about, Joe, think about in your life to this point, people that have hung around for long enough for you to be like, okay, you know, it is what it is with them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like I've seen situations where people have been just like, you know, around a person for long enough that they just grow to, you know, they hated them. Grow to love them.
But you got to, I mean, because at some point you got to let it, I mean, it's only going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But to your point, that line is it's so real life.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But
it's so real.
So here's the thing about Noah Cross and why he's so evil and why he's still so relevant is because time and again, we see this with rich people.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling of invincibility, untouchability.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it to Jake.
Mm-hmm.
He's untouchable. Nobody's going to do anything to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, give me the glasses. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like,
yeah, you can't possibly bother me. I owned the water company.
He owns people.
When he said he owns people. When he said he owned the water, he's like, oh, I still got a few teeth in my head, and I still got a couple friends in town. Brilliant,
man, and he wins.
He does win.
He wins.
He does win in the end. In the end, he does win.
Noah Cross, the most villainous, evil, incestuous, a lust for incest.
Probably like Darth Vader. It's probably like Darth Vader than him, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
It really is that the AFI list? Vader and him?
I'm pretty sure that's it's against Vader. I think Vader would be number 1, and then he's like number 2.
I mean,
Lord Vader.
And John Huston, a fine director in his own right, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Father of Angelica Huston.
Thank gosh. Father of Jack Huston.
Father of Jack Huston, yes. Our guy Jack. Just incredible performance. Incredible character.
Oh, he was 16th. He was 16th ranked villain.
16th
ranked.
Well, you know, he's number 2.
Just still, so number 1. Oh, sorry. I looked at the list. I was like, Atticus Finch. It was Heroes first.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you good. You good.
Well, it was Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, Darth Vader, the Wicked Witch of the West, Nurse Ratched, Mr. Potter, and It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. Alex Forrest and Fatal Attraction. Phyllis Dietrichson in Double Indemnity, Reagan McNeil in The Exorcist, The Evil Queen, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Michael Corleone in the movie. Too.
That's about right.
Alex DeLarge in Clockwork.
Hal. My jergies.
Yes. Lovely. Hal in 2001. Alien in Alien.
Amon Goth.
Amon Goth, yeah, in Schindler's List, then Noah Cross, which I've got no problem with that.
Followed
by Annie Wilkes, then the Shark, and Jaws, Captain Bligh, and then Man in Bambi.
Man is the true villain. Hey, look, you mentioned Atticus Finch as a villain in Alabama. In certain parts of Alabama, he is the villain. I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The beauty is, the Burris Ewells of the world are still around, man.
There's one brother on this list, and it's Denzel as Detective Alonzo Harris.
That's about right. And when the list came out, this list is like in the early 2000s, right? It was like
yeah, I think it's like 2003. So it would definitely, which was top of mind.
Yeah,
that was like
Killmonger probably and Thanos probably in the discussion now, but
they probably bump a couple of people out.
Yeah, for sure. But Noah Cross in my mind, gosh, man, he's so enthusiastic about, she's the only thing I got left. She's the only. He's so enthusiastic about creating a sexual relationship with his granddaughter. How's that? And daughter. Yeah. Like his daughter. Like
so here it is. So this character, Noah Cross, was richest guy in LA, richest guy probably in California, probably the western part of the country.
Yeah.
Owned all this land, did all this stuff, and he has one daughter, Evelyn, and he and Evelyn, his daughter, not his. This isn't Woody and Suni. This isn't
not a stepdaughter. This is his daughter.
This is daughter. He and Evelyn have a child, and so that's where this person, the young lady, their child, they had a daughter, and that daughter is then the subject of a great deal of controversy and mystery. In a series of mysterious things that are happening within that family in a short period of time. Yeah. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, this is a major twist, by the way. If you haven't seen the movie, I don't know why you're listening to this point, but hey,
I felt we had to say it because
we do.
Saying that he's
you
bad.
Can't talk about this movie without discussing it. Yeah.
And again, it is streaming on Amazon Prime right now. On Prime Video right now.
Yeah, stop listening, go watch. It's still amazing, even if you know the twist. Still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's my unsung hero / worst person ever to be on film. And yet every time I watch it, I can't wait to get Noah.
Oh no, Mr. Getz. I hope you don't mind. I like him with the head on. Mr. Getz. I just love his voice.
His voice is incredible. Him and Orson Welles have those old timey those.
He did the voices in The Hobbit. Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
Which is what originally drew me in. So talk to me, man. What's your problem with Jack, man?
What's my problem with Jack?
You said you had you did. Am I jumping the shark on that?
No. We talked about that the last episode. I said, Jack. I just think that Jack overdoes it in a lot of this. I think he's
overdo it in this?
No, he didn't. In this film, This is my favorite Jack film.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay.
This is my favorite Jack film. This and I'm a big fan of his in terms of endearment. Melvin Udall, of course. But
gotta love Melvin Udall.
But he's usually going for it a little too much.
Shut up, kids.
Now, that going forward, I'm all for. You know, and I haven't seen Prizzy's Honor, and I'm ashamed to mention that because I know his performance is pretty great in that. Haven't seen that, so I can't make a statement about it one way or the other. But The Shining, I'm a Stephen King guy first, so his performance in The Shining is just too much. It's not the Jack I read. That's it's too much. He's too much in The Departed. He's too much in trying to think he's just Jack is the most. When I think of Jack, I think of the most. And you know, there it is. But in this film it's just fine. Which is equally it's another one that I enjoy him in. Batman, least favorite Joker. Least favorite Joker.
Well, I can understand that. Knowing you, I can understand that. He was my Joker I would always say like he's my Joker. And then that changed.
Yeah.
that eventually changed.
Yeah. I just, I get it. He's one of our best actors. I get it. But for me and mine, when he's on screen, he chews it up. And in this film, he doesn't do as much of that. To me, it's more about Jake. He becomes Jake, and it's rare for him to do that. In most of the other films, it's a character. This is Jack Nicholson. You know what I mean? He gets he overwhelms the character. And again,
but he got lost in the character.
Yeah. Why I like Terms of Endearment so much is again because you kind of forget almost at times like he's kind of understated. He's soft spoken in that at points, and then at other points he turns on to Jack. But he's a comforting, endearing person in that. I mean, I hate to use the title in the description of him, but he's a different guy in that movie, and that's why I like him a little more in that. But I don't hate Jack. I don't want to put it that way because again,
I didn't say. Yeah. I got you, and I mean he's done so much work that I mean, there are. Unfortunately, he did his About Schmitz and he did his that thing he did with Sandler. He did that departure, whatever that was with Sandler. Yeah, he did anger management.
Yeah.
He did one or two of those. He didn't go the full De Niro route and do 4 or 5 of those crazy things.
Yeah.
But he's done that too. I mean, he's got kids, so he got to make a little money.
Yeah.
But
you got to pay for those seats too.
Those seats too in perpetuity. But I thought this was I thought Jack in this role was very methodical.
Yes.
And measured.
Yes.
Because he's so cool in this, but he's not overdoing the cool. It's like you realize this is just who Jake Gittes is. Because I think to be a private eye, you've got to unfortunately deliver bad news or not unpleasant news. Yeah. It's kind of like it's not unlike being a physician.
Yeah.
You have to in many cases deliver unpleasant news to people and be prepared for their reaction.
Yeah. And so he's so matter of fact about it at one point, when the fake Evan Mulray comes in and he's like, I believe my husband's cheating. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear this. It's just
right.
He's procedural about it.
It's funny you say that too, because I just picked up on something this past time watching how he doesn't wait. He's not what he tried to talk her out. It's like, go home, think about it, boom, boom, boom. He did that right the first time. The second time, when the actual Evelyn Mulray comes in and says, I'll pay all this plus $5,000. Hey, give me a contract. Like before she changes her mind, I'm not playing around with this.
Yeah.
Give me a contract. Let me get some money here. Right. Yeah. And so he gets his money. And then when her dad says, when her dad does the same thing, he's like, okay, my assistant will get a contract over to you. I'm getting this money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think he ever got his Evelyn Mulray money, unfortunately. But he probably got the money from Mr. Mulray. He might have. Oh no, I mean Mr. What's his name? Mr. Cross.
Oh yeah,
he probably got his money from Mr. Cross.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Get your checkbook out, because he won.
He won.
Just find the girl, okay? Just find the girl.
Deplorable. Despicable.
Absolutely despicable. Absolutely despicable.
And fascinating.
Yes. I want to say this too about Polanski. And the shots. The scope of this film is insane.
Yeah.
He keeps his main character at like 1/8 of an inch on the screen, showing you a very quiet riverbed, right? Just some nondescript quiet river. Who takes the time? This is a very different film.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's showing a different Los Angeles because this came out in 74. So LA in 74, you're coming out of the 60s. It's the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood LA.
Yeah.
Right. It's 5 years after Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, that LA.
Yeah.
Okay. Sunset Baby, all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this 1937 LA is a sleepy town.
Yeah.
And Polanski does just the way they shot it. It's sleepy. It's quiet. It's a quiet film. You have to pay attention, put your phone down and watch the movie.
Yes.
And get in there so you can hear these beautiful lines.
Yeah.
So you can see these beautiful shots.
Yeah.
So you can watch this masterful acting between Faye Dunaway, she's always hiding something, but seems her voice is full of money. Yeah. And her actions are full of money. The way she moves, it's full of money and privilege and all those other things. Yeah. And yet she still has this anxiety that whenever he mentions her father, the anxiety is like piercing through the screen.
Yeah. It's an immediate thing. It turns on. She becomes a different person.
Totally. You already have one going. You started another one. You already have one going. Miss Moray. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. 2 cigarettes, man. Who does that? Somebody that's really
out there bad.
Yeah.
Out there really bad.
And she was with the shits. Like she goes and goes to the I guess it's a retirement community.
She was with the shits and rolled out of there.
Yeah. Tried to.
Down.
Man.
She was down, bro.
Yeah, she was, man. She was. I
like 5 days, but she was down.
I like albacore to albacore. I like stuff like that. Like overhearing a word and like, little details like that. Just again, neo-noir detective film. Because it's not like hard boiled.
No.
It's
about water.
Yeah. It's about water. It's a film
and the
about
money
water.
and the money, yeah, it is, and much better than Waterworld. And the money that's going to come from, controlling the water, controlling the water and putting it to where they want people to move, so they can make more money on the land.
Yeah,
that's where they want people to move. So that's the thing. LA hadn't even sprawled yet, and if you think about it, 1937, there's not even a World War II yet for these guys to come back to.
Yeah.
To build these houses out in Pine Valley.
Yeah. Hill Valley. Yeah.
Hill Valley, whatever it was. Hill Valley. I said Pine Valley?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
it was the Two Pines Mall. Two Pines Mall.
Two Pine Mall in Hill Valley. Yeah. So there wasn't a place that sprawl hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
It was just desert. Yeah. And then the studios. And even if you're in LA right now, you go to LA right now, you see the original places for the studios were. They were on the edge of town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the town grew up around it. And this story is about the town growing up around goods and services, one of which being water.
Yeah.
And you learn then there were farmers in LA? Yeah. Yes, there were farmers everywhere.
Man had his goats in the city hall.
Yeah, brought the goats in the city hall. Because what is he supposed to do? That great great character actor there who did that. But yeah, man, masterful film.
Yeah. They called the guys those guys that were attacking, he called them Okies. I really
you Okies. That was a great fight.
That was a great fight.
They definitely got him.
The fights in so how realistic is that knifing of his nose?
No, it scares me every time. I've been meaning to ask you this all week. Okay, you're not an ER doc.
No.
Right. But let me ask you. But you understand anatomy.
I've sutured, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. In all sincerity, because it looked like the way he cut him, it looked like it was from the side, but then the bandage is like on this portion of the nose.
Yeah.
If someone cuts you there, no, actually, at first I thought they cut him over there, but it really, and that could be a film flub, by the way. But I don't think Polanski would have a flub. But
I think it was just the only way they could really film it and make it kind of look realistic, but not really. You know, I mean, I think
because the blade was like this, but then but the cut is like that, right? So maybe he had the blade there, turned it and flicked it real quick.
Yeah, but
definitely slices the nose.
Yeah,
and then he has ketchup on his face.
Yeah.
You tell me, how much blood are we talking about?
I mean, that's a lot of vascular supply, because like you think about like your nosebleeds that you have, like those usually happen in the a little bit further up in those turbinates, but it's a lot of vascular supply there. This tissue here is partly cartilage, but partly not, so it's not quite as vascular as some of the other areas. But if you do through and through cut, I mean, that's gonna bleed profusely.
That's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a stab wound in the navel.
Yeah, no, that's gonna bleed profusely. Like again, like you're cutting off a significant portion of it. I'm touching it. You know, significant portion of it is cartilage. I always teach my medical students just a little, like, you know, I tell them when they're doing prostate exams, touch the your nose, because that's how the prostate's supposed to feel. That's
good to know. Thank you.
No problem. You ready to do a rectal exam, Joe?
I'm good. Can you pass biological science? I'm good. I'm good.
A lot of cartilage there, but it's still really vascularized. Like, I mean, you know, and the other thing about it has to hurt like hell, because
only when I breathe.
You know, like I'm a vain guy. When I'm looking in the mirror in the morning, I'm taking my velvet do-rag off and everything like that. I see a gray nose hair. I'm trying to get it out. Hurts like shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely. I went and bought a Manscaped nose hair trimmer because I'm a vain guy too. Okay, but before that, I was literally taking a tweezer.
Yeah, well, that's what I do now. I'm in the tweezer phase still.
I was taking a tweezer, but this thing just goes in there and just takes care of it. So hey, shout out to the people at Manscaped. I got
a 2.0 landscaper. I don't have the
I've got that one too. I've got that one as well. Good,
shout out
good
to,
for you.
So wives and women in your lives that
all those things, rain, fire, all that type of thing. Yes.
Old Jack, what would old Jack Burton say in a moment like this?
Me,
Jack
Burton. But to your point, I think that that would be tremendous pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet he's still out and about. And then he gets in the fight and it starts bleeding again.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah. Very realistic.
Man.
Very realistic.
I'd be at the house.
Yeah, I'd be chilling too. I would,
because of the look of it.
I would take my sick leave. It's all bad. And then, like, you know, after the fact, when you see the stitches, it's like, you know, I mean, again, you know, just the detail of it, you know, I think that he probably could have had a little more bleeding. I think that was, you know, 74 that weren't quite as good at you know, they're still using squibs that show ketchup, like you said, and you know, blood and blood yet. They haven't worked on that science quite.
Yeah. I gotta give it. Let it be 1974 too.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. So, any TV connections? I struggle to think.
Nah.
This doesn't translate well. Soprano moments in the great Whitecaps episode. I'm stepping on my own, stealing my own thunder. My favorite episode of The Sopranos, Whitecaps. There's a moment where, you know, Carmela's upset because the theater chairs are on the lawn and they're messing up the grass, and Tony's like, "Bad for the grass," and you know, that moment where he realizes that he drowned him there on the property, you know, with the sea salt, the salt water. That moment was a nice little callback for The Sopranos. There are a lot of little like filmmaking moments and things that happen in this film that people bring back, and people don't even recognize, you know, that this is from this movie, you know.
Not to mention, of course, the great line. It's Chinatown, Jake.
It's
like
Chinatown.
they've fictionalized and theorized that in all kind of films.
Yeah.
There was something I was watching with my daughter the other day, and that line came up, and it was like a cartoon, and it came up, and I was like, "What? How did it?" Yeah, I mean, it's part of the lexicon, man. It's the thing you cannot explain.
Yeah,
it's Chinatown. If you can't explain it, it must be. It's definitely Chinatown.
Yeah. To think that Chinatown was the area that was like, you don't want to go there, and now Chinatown, Little Italy, all these areas that used to be like legitimately controlled and not the areas you want to be in are now tourist spots. Like you're looking forward to,
like you wouldn't believe.
Right. Yeah. Right. I just looked this up. Apparently they're doing a prequel series on Netflix for this movie.
Who's playing Jake?
David Fincher's behind it. So I'm all the way in. And Robert Towns involved. And Ben Affleck.
I forgot he's still Ben Affleck. So is he playing Jake? I don't think he's a little old now. For a prequel?
Yeah, maybe not.
I did want to say this
about two things. Maybe I'm mixing some things up, but David Fincher's involved with the TV series. Ben Affleck is doing a retrospective about it. He's doing
okay. I was going to say, I do think though that I think it's worth mentioning that. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Gosh. Okay. But I was gonna say, sorry. There's obviously a sequel. And
I was gonna ask you, did you see the Two Jakes?
Oh yeah, I've seen it a number of times.
Okay.
So there's obviously a sequel. The Two Jakes came out like 93, 92, 93, 91. 90. Oh gosh.
August of 90.
And it looks like they took the clothes from that and just made Bugsy, Yeah. And so still about land, still about LA, a little bigger place, a little different. And then it seems like they took all those clothes and then they made LA Confidential, which is another film.
Yeah, in LA that
waiting
we're
for
us. We're gonna talk
waiting
about.
for us. Yes, LA Confidential.
I love it.
But yeah, Two Jakes was. I don't know what I watched when I saw that. I watched it again during the quarantine, and I had a far better understanding than the first time I watched it. I remember I watched it with my dad. I'm like, Dad, what is this about? And he's like, I think they just wanted to make a movie, son. I don't really know.
That's a very honest assessment.
Yeah, but things blew up and the land, all this. Anyway. I'm saying all that to say that sometimes I think that there's characters where you've mined all the emotion out of them that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I think there was a great deal of emotion that was already mined out of Jake Gittes.
Yeah.
And so, but I think I'd love a prequel, and I would love to see what happened right after that. Like, what did you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right after that, what did you do with that $10,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right after that,
I like to know too. It's funny. He directed it.
Yeah, I know.
And
I mean, he can do it. I mean, it's Jack, man. He can do whatever he want to do.
It's Jack. He never directed another film after that, though. So
yeah, well, that's for the best.
Again,
we're better off.
One of my favorite things to say here lately. The less
keep them up. Keep them up. Keep them up.
The less said about that, the better.
Remember that line in Best of Show?
Yes.
keep them up. Keep them up. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. Hey man, on a semi-related note, man,
I picked up on some TV shows and regrettably have left Schitt's Creek behind. I want to jump back into that. I don't know if you've watched it.
Not one episode. I will come back but I love the main two characters.
Yeah.
The main two actors. I've
the Levies,
supported the Levy. I've supported him for years. No, I don't know anything about his son. I mean, I'm supposed to love him because he's his son, but I don't know anything about his son.
Okay.
But I was talking about Eugene, of course.
Oh, and Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. I mean, hey, Home Alone. I mean, that's that SCTV. SCTV
show.
That's the show. SCTV.
Yeah.
Any number of films.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So I've been in with them, and then I love how Eugene Levy is like, how can I put it? Credible. Again.
Yeah.
After a horrid 99-12 stretch, he's credible again.
Yeah.
And now the elder statesman, which goes back to the line that John Huston said that he said in the film.
Yeah. You get respectable if you stick around long enough.
You ugly buildings.
Politicians and whores.
Mr. Gitz. It's Gittis. I'm sorry, Mr. Gitz. Yes.
No cares in the world.
None. Not a one. Not a one. Full fish coming out of the water. I wouldn't want to eat that for my life.
Man, so when I went to Thailand, the house we stayed in an Airbnb in Thailand. And we had these ladies that would come and clean up every day, and every time we would see them, they say, "We want to cook for you. We want to cook for you." So it was 6 of us in the house. So no, 8 of us. 8 of us. I'm sorry, 8 of us in the house. And so eventually we were like, okay, and in Thailand you can put together like $12 and like have a feast. Yeah. So long and short of it is, they made red snapper with the heads on for us on that last night. And I was sick for a whole week afterward.
Oh my gosh, really?
On my flight back, and it was.
Oh no,
it was all bad. I think they left them out a little too long. But I mean, a couple of the people who ate it didn't get sick, so maybe it's just my poor constitution. I don't know. Anyway, when I see fish with their heads on, because later on I went to a restaurant here in Nashville, Fin and Pearl, which is since closed. They served the Bronzino with the head on. And I was like, yeah, I can't even look at it. I don't even want to see it. Can't do it. So when I see that scene, I get grossed out.
Yeah, I get grossed out of that scene too. Like, no thanks. Yeah, in fact, I was going to download the picture of the fish head, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. We'll stay right where we are.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So not quite a societal impact. I mean, this is more telling a story about something that's already happened. As far I want to talk about the genre of the noir film.
Yeah,
this is the last great. I mean, to an extent, The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, sure.
Noir.
Sure,
but it's a different kind. This is the last great, like really true great neo noir film to me. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, The Devil in the Blue Dress is his own thing. I see that as his own thing. Everything else is different. This is the last one of those, that particular era to me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they did it extremely well with this. The best, just the absolute best, and it's measured, as I've said before, not rushed at all.
Yeah.
Not even in the third act is it rushed. It's not rushed at all.
Yeah.
And one of the things about the noir part, you feel frantic when you're supposed to in this.
Yes.
And then when you're not supposed to feel frantic, you're at ease.
Yeah.
But when you are supposed to, I mean, and that's Polanski, man.
That's direction. That's the direction.
And he does a certain thing a certain way, not unlike in Rosemary's Baby, where he's gonna scare you. Suspense. It's just a hell of a movie, man. It's just a hell of a movie. I don't know what else to say. It's a hell of a film. Yes.
That's all that really needs to be said about it, man. It's a hell of a film, man. So ranking time, Joe. Where does this film rank for you?
It's top 10 movies ever for me.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair. This movie is in my rack in the bedroom here. It is 10 movies and 5 TV shows on my like easy access rack. It's right there. Anytime I want to watch Chinatown, and I got the steel case Blu-ray. I'm we talked about this earlier. I'm a Blu-ray guy. This is essential for me. If I lose it, if it gets a scratch on it, I'm buying another one. Like this is a film to me that is like a bit of cinema history. This is why I can tolerate people talking about Roman Polanski, because like his craft in this. I mean, again, as deplorable as he is, he made this movie, man. He made this. He made Rosemary's Baby.
He made Thriller.
Man, he made Thriller. This is,
Thriller.
We live in, I think this era, it's in that phase where it's starting to reach peak backlash. But
yeah, definitely right now.
That said, man, I mean, like you can't. This brings up that argument of like you can cancel this guy, you can't cancel this film. This film is like just.
Oh no, it's it is masterful, and it's seen as such, and it's supported in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So that's it, man. Any nitpicks, anything that you want to?
No, how could I? I dare not. I dare not do that.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
good.
I don't have any. I don't have a single.
Pontius Pilate.
All right,
I find no fault.
Are there any black people in this movie, Joe?
No, but it's not a story about black people.
True. I'm just.
It's not.
I'm trying to get Blackity Black Joe out here, man. I'm trying to get the race man Joe out.
Nah, I mean, but the race man is there. I'm right here on the surface, right here in front of you. But there are some times when there are certain stories that just aren't about black people.
It's not, and thankfully, we don't.
We don't need to be inserted. We didn't need to be inserted. Like we were in a totally different part of LA at the time, in that segregated town at the time. And so it didn't really. It wasn't ever gonna, be on someone else's doorstep. However, conversely though, having Lou Escobar there in the role as lieutenant, I thought was extremely forward thinking.
Yeah.
At the time, and probably was more historically progressive and historically accurate, because I'm pretty sure a Mexican American police officer would probably have been risen higher in the ranks quicker. I could be totally wrong about this, but than a black person. And it was just interesting to me the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, look at this guy. At first I thought he was like a Native American. I was a little kid, I didn't know. Then it said Lou Escobar. It's like, oh, okay. So the thing was, they were police officers together, like back in the day when they're in their 20s, and in the 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. So it means they came up together in the 20s, literally. Yeah.
In the roaring 20s.
In the roaring 20s as police officers.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. But I thought that was extremely progressive to have Lou Escobar be the head guy.
Yeah.
On that whole deal.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point, man. Wonderful film, man.
Absolutely.
I'm truly, I'm happy every time I have an opportunity to watch it. Happy that you indulged me in allowing us.
Of course. I love Chinatown, man. I love Chinatown. I was born in '74. Chinatown's very important for them. Chinatown, Godfather 2, '74.
There you go. I mean, and Joe Carlos.
And nothing else, and me. There's nothing else to say.
I love it.
Those two.
The great Joe Carlos, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The great Dr. Calvin Miles Smith, Mad Dog.
Internationally known, locally recognized,
universally loved.
And that's you in a nutshell, man. More people.
No, that's you, Doc. I'm talking about yo.
I'm gonna tell you, Joe. More people love you than love me, man.
That's not true. That's not true. You save lives, brother.
I try.
You save lives. You save lives, and you teach people who save lives.
God bless.
God bless. In spite of themselves.
I love my students.
Yes.
I love my students. Any students that are listening to this, I love you. But gosh, y'all make it hard for a brother, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, come on. Why would it be easy? Just imagine yourself, and then there's times whatever number of them.
Yeah, I know. I kind of, I was a bear to deal with sometimes. So I'm getting mine. Joe, where are we going next, man?
I don't know, bro.
So we got the new Jack for y'all. That's they gonna show up at the same time. And then I think we said, are we ready to do the?
I think it's next week. I think it's week after next.
Week after next. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to put any undue pressure.
Got you.
I'm ready for it, but Devin Campbell.
So I keep saying guys, that. We'll announce at some point.
Yeah, we'll announce. We're chilling. We'll announce.
We want you to be.
Actually, I have an idea.
Okay.
But I can't do 2 of these in a row. So we'll talk about it. Okay. and we'll announce midweek.
You never know with us, man. Like, we might decide to talk about some movies or some music. We might decide. We might. Something might come up in the zeitgeist, pop culture.
I love the zeitgeist. We're all about the zeitgeist. And then we got the nominations next week. So we will have
nominations next week.
Monday.
Joe,
we're gonna have to have we'll have an Oscar show.
Let's make next Thursday. Let's make
Oscar show.
The Oscar show.
The Oscars.
And we can rail on our biggest robberies. Hey, we doing an Oscar show.
It's a beautiful night for Oscar. Who will win?
I got all sorts of categories. All sorts of categories popping up. Don't answer yet.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I could sing the entire opening song for the 91 Academy Awards.
I want you to think about who your favorite host.
Easy.
Okay.
This is the guy who sang the 91 song, but go ahead.
Fair enough. All right.
I can even tell you my favorite tuxedo.
Let's talk about all of it, brother. Hey,
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Next week, guys, Oscar show. In the meantime,
Oscars.
In between time, guys.
I wrote mine. Yes.
Look, we are closing this tab.
Yes.
X
on the tab there.
We got a lot of material now, man. I was trying to. My boss has finally agreed to listen to the Groundhog Day.
Right.
Episode.
Yeah, you told me Groundhog Day. Right. So, you told me that.
Guys, like, if you're just now getting on with us, we're happy to have you.
We are.
Go back to our old work. Your favorite movie, one of your favorite movies, we've talked about it.
We're bound to hit one of them.
We talked about Outkast. We talked about that day in '93 when Tribe and Wu-Tang came out the same day. We talked. We gave a little tribute to the late great Thomas Jefferson Byrd. There's a lot of stuff in our archives on Spotify, Anchor, Apple podcast.
That's that wisdom. That's that wust.
Joe, I'm making it my. I devote at least 3 hours every Saturday to trying to figure out how to get our audio onto YouTube. I'm gonna get there, brother. Or we're gonna have to hire
3 hours. 3 hours.
We're gonna have to hire a young intern, I believe.
I have a feeling. I got an idea about that.
Okay.
I got an idea about that.
All right. Because the audio's there. It's all there. It's all there just to grab. It's there. It's
out there. It's just got to know how to grab it. I know how to grab it. I know how to grab it.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of old work, man. So listen to our old work. Listen to our new work. If you
absolutely.
Rich, when I told Rich, I was like, you got to listen. He starts making suggestions for movies, so I'm gonna have to run that list by you because he brought up some good ones. He brought up some bad ones too. So we need to talk about. We're about halfway done with season 2, guys.
Good.
Like, we got a lot of material still in the bank here that we
do
haven't touched yet. So
we do.
Looking forward to talking about it with our brother. We got more guests coming. More of everything, and
more.
Excited, man. Excited.
Cannot wait.
So Oscars next week. Until then, guys, y'all be safe out here. Wear your masks. We're almost out of this, man.
Please.
Get your vaccine. Be like Joe and me. Get Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
And let's get on these beaches this summer, man.
Absolutely. As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. All right, y'all. Until next time.
Peace.